see Ch0cman has a registered PB of 1 hour, 6 minutes and 13 seconds. And Soppa, I have no clue. But I will attempt to do some cheating. See if I can't find it on the zone stream.
Seems rough.
And Soppa has gotten a PB of 1 hour, 11 minutes and 56 seconds. So these PBs are quite a ways apart in the advantage of Ch0cman. But you never know. 3 games is a long time. And a lot of stuff can always happen, so we'll have to see. And with that, we do get them both running right off into the intro stage. With some Bs, we see a good B for Soppa and a good B for Ch0cman. Can we call this guy Chocolate? It would be cool. If you're wondering why Soppa just froze, this is us syncing up the 2 runners for, yeah, a good viewer experience. And both of them get double Bs, that's really good. No deaths today, or potential deaths at least.
Soppa's a little low in health though.
Yeah, he's taking it on low HP, so I guess he will be skipping on the task bars unless he picks up HP somewhere. He actually skipped over a small HP right before. Well, kind of forced to pick a big HP there, so I suppose he has to do task bars now. Ch0cman doing the same. Goes to 2 HP. And a little right to the end. Pretty good ship for Ch0cman, and about the same for Soppa.
Yep.
So the only thing that can decide the winner of the intro stage at this point is Vile RNG. And Ch0cman seems to be just fine with that, and actually Soppa gets the exact same. Ch0cman wins the intro stage. Heck yeah. Doomtap, how do they account for control changes if one person does it and another doesn't? I'm not sure what you mean with control changes. I think you mean with like the different use, like with console and emulator and setting up the controls and the options. If that is the thing that you mean, there is a rule that you have to wait 30 seconds before starting the next game. And that is because someone on a console always needs time to set up, compared to someone who's on an emulator can just like load next game with a save state and get it going. That applies only for the tournament, obviously. PB attempts, you just go as fast as you can. I suppose it would kind of be fair for a leaderboard to have the same rule, I guess. But, you know, I guess it's just funnier to leave people smashing cartridges ASAP into that SNES. With, you know, all potential consequences if you slam it in there too hard. But no, it's actually just a tournament rule. And both runners neck and neck on the true intro finish, because now we finally get to play a speedrun with the dash boots. Soppa gets the no-stop hallway, killing an ostrich. Actually, I personally didn't mention it yet so far this tournament, but the no-stop hallway where you kill the ostrich is kind of special, because your last lemon fired will actually be a shot that hits twice. Once on the last fire guy, I believe, and then once on the ostrich itself. So you get like 2 hits from 1 shot. And that actually allows you to dash through without stopping, otherwise you take a little bonk. Yeah, there is indeed increased damage on dash lemons for people who are less into MMX. You have double damage when you do a dash shot. I'm not sure this is intended or a bug. I think it's intended because X2 has the same thing and X3 as well. The only thing that they swapped about it in X3 is the fact that your dash lemon double damage does not apply to bosses like it does in X1 and 2.
Both of them got a pretty good penguin. And Soppa with a fade out.
Yeah. 20 bonus frames saved for Soppa. And with that, we go to the Kwanger stage. Kwanger stage is instantly a pretty hard one. There's a lot of vertical movement here. So usually, if you see runners having some struggles, it's very often in this stage because it's just more difficult. You have a lot more movement going on. Well, I mean, special movement where it's not just dashing, jumping over, I guess. Soppa taking a little extra bump to the face. Or to the butt, as you will. He was kind of flying on top of that turtle. Oh, and
Same thing for Ch0cman.
yeah, well, he was like, oh man, I want to wood missile in my butt too. Yeah. Luckily, halfway through this stage, you get a little break with the elevator. That's a whole lot of vertical movement that you don't even have to do anything for. You just bug yourself into the corner and you're good to go. You can in fact jump on those spikes at the side of the elevator, and if you wall jump on the spikes, you take no damage. So you can try this trick at home. For once, something we tell you is alright to do at home. If you jump into those spikes and wall jump, you take no damage. It's a bug that legitimately works on every single version of the game. And it's pretty easy to see if you didn't get it, because if you took damage, well then you messed it up. So if you wanted something new to show your friends at home, like, look mom, I can do this, just jump into that wall and take a hit without taking damage. She'll think you're special, don't worry. Even if you mess it up. It's fail proof.
Oh, Ch0cman.
Ch0cman now into a difficult Kwanger fight.
Ooh.
This is nerve-wracking when this happens to you, especially if you know that gets the teleport inside his body. Oh.
Soppa got a really good fight too.
Yeah, it's really difficult to do Kwanger fight if you don't get the dance going, because Kwanger teleports are very random, and the worst part is he can actually teleport inside your hitbox, so it's really annoying. Also, normally at 50% HP, he goes into a state where, like this, he just teleports around, but he doesn't get into your hitbox. However, if you get one of those really early messy fights, he somehow leaves that pattern and can still teleport inside of you. Okay, fine, Justin. You can actually take damage if you do the wall jump wrong. Excuse me for the little error there. You're not allowed to hold the directional input when you do the wall jump. It's actually true.
Yep.
So, because of that death that Ch0cman took here, Soppa actually took quite a significant lead early on in the tournament. So we'll have to see if it's actually Soppa's true form, the PP that he has. He might really need this lead in like X2, X3. I don't know what his experiences in those two games are. I'm pretty sure he ran X2 for a while, but I'm not sure about X3 on his end. And I do believe it's a game you can easily lose quite a lot of time in. Another fade out for the Soap. Means he's now saved a total of 40 frames with that.
One more fade out and he'll say the second.
Yeah. Let's be fair, this can be a very important thing. The most recent world record that we've seen in X1, I believe, would have not been a 34 59 if it wasn't for fade outs. So next time you think, it's not worth going for, it's worth going for. Perhaps your PB might not be as significant as the new world record we got, but I mean, it still counts, right? Yeah, so far I believe boat runners have skipped over any potential safeties. I've seen some people pick up the sub tank in Eagle, but not Soppa, he doesn't do that.
Yeah, I believe Ch0cman won't be picking anything either.
No, I do think Ch0cman and Soppa are both like pretty well experienced in X1, to my knowledge. I just don't know about their other games. Especially Ch0cman, I don't know that. I know Soppa pretty decently, but...
Well, I know Ch0cman. He's got really good PBs in both X1 and X2. X3 is not that good, but it's still a very good time, like 45 or something like that.
I see. So definitely some experience getting into this. Well, we'll see. I mean, he's a ways behind Soppa right now, but it can quickly change. Actually, wow, Ch0cman taking it slow on these platforms. That's something you don't see a lot. Must be a little bit nervous about any potential deaths here. Deaths on those platforms are actually very painful because they are right before the midway point of the stage. So if you die there, you get pushed back all the way to the start of the stage, which really costs you easily half a minute. Or close to that. And Soppa opting in for a very early Mammoth. Mammoth is always kind of the fun thing for 8 Mavericks and X1 because you can fit him in anywhere in the second half of your Mavericks. And since recently, some people used to do him last, but it's actually pretty good if you do him before Octo now, since we figured out that you can easily use the Fire Wave to get out of Octo's grab attack where he drains you. So it's pretty good to have the Fire Wave there and do Octo last.
Pretty good stage for Soppa.
Yeah, took no hits at all. Actually very nicely skirting around all the enemies. And right there at the end with a couple of those mace hammer swinging thing guys, who I forgot the name of, please send help.
No, either.
Ho gang murdingers, something. You got a couple really tight jumps there to get around them. Mammoth going down, and Ch0cman opting into Madrill, actually, at first. Those pesky Mammoth miners, and I would have PB'd if it wasn't for those meddling kit miners, what? So, Ch0cman fighting Thunder Slimer gets a pretty decent fight out of that. Thunder Slimer, easily the most annoying RNG mini-boss in the game. Can give you a lot of trouble and lag if he decides to just bounce all around the room and throw a bunch of bubbles at your face to get you stuck on the floor for a while. Yeah, I suppose you could do that to get the booster in Flame Mammoth stage, except like it's quite a long time. You have to go backwards to pick up the upgrades, and I mean, if you're pretty good at the game, you don't get enough bonus out of it, I think, to get the upgraded Chameleon Sting.
Yeah, getting the upgraded Chameleon Sting can be useful, but you'll waste a lot of time grabbing the helmet, so you can actually get the faster.
I do believe that it's worth to put in a bit more practice to just go fast. I think most people would take it if they feel like they really need it, but If you're confident about your skills, I don't think you'll ever see someone take it. If I were you, MMX, I'd quit my job. That's just my opinion, though. Do what you want. So Soppa taking down Mandrill and Ch0cman going into the yet another break stage. Lots of cart rides here. You have to do a little bit of the stage yourself, but I think like this is like a 50-50 stage. 50% you have to do something, and 50% you just sit on a cart and ride through it. Yeah. Being late for races in the final draw. Ch0cman taking a little extra break there right before falling down. Decides that the cart rides alone are not enough break time where he doesn't have to do anything, so takes a little stop as a bonus. I deserve this break. I've done a lot of the stage already. 50 minutes in. Give me some cookies and a coffee. Let's see what kind of RNG the Dillo gives us. Actually, something that we also don't always mention is this specifically what you see right now on Ch0cman's end is he gets a fair amount of rolls already and it easily wastes some seconds. But the worst RNG that you can get in this game to lose your self-time is actually not the very famous penguin slides, it's not the very famous eagle dives, it's actually the slightly less known super terrible Dillo rolls, because he's completely invulnerable, and we have actually, I believe, seen Dillo roll for like 15 to 20 seconds, if not actually more.
It's a nightmare.
He legitimately has the potential to waste an entire run by almost going infinite rolls. He will always stop eventually, but it can get pretty terrible if you have the worst luck in the world for that day. But believe me, if that ever happens to you, you won't be mad. It's actually so bad that it just gets funny when you see him do yet another roll as he hits the ground. And as you say, 0 rolls, that's perhaps another thing with Dillo. He more often than not than the other RNG bosses gives you a decent RNG with like no rolls or 1 roll only. So I guess it's a fair trade-off. He's usually kind, but it can be terrible. Does he? I don't know. I know that QDD6 and perhaps another person has gotten some super long rolls, and I think I've seen it on Soppa once, but yeah. I don't know who has the technical world record on Dillo rolls. I'm not sure if I should be happy for that guy either. Soppa with some 100% movement here, try to jump over those missiles. As if he wanted to kill the ship, and then bonk the bombs. Kind of weird. Ch0cman finishes a Pak 2, doing pretty well for himself. And actually has a complete stage to go, I believe, at this point. Whereas for Soppa, this is the final 8 Maverick.
And Ch0cman got a fade out.
Nice! 20 frames to catch up on Soppa. There we get the drain attack and the fire wave getting used to get out of it. Ooh, that's a whole lot of damage, Soppa. Careful. He's not gonna jump into that. Ooh,
that's dangerous.
Woo. Well, Soppa, not even close. The guy makes it out of X1 by the skin of his teeth, and is now gonna go and start up X2. As by the rules, he now has to wait 30 seconds before really getting it going. He's actually taking a lot of that time putting his card in and putting his console back on, looks like. Lots of blue screening going on. There it is. Okay, I was getting a little worried there.
Yeah.
Ways to catch up time for Ch0cman. You know, I can imagine Soppa sitting there in his living room like, where did I put this cartridge again? Did I leave it in the kitchen when I went for food? I can completely imagine a confused person like myself, like having to do a race like this and eventually figuring out after 2 minutes that I left my cartridge in the fridge or something stupid like that. So, pretty funny losing a race to that. And Ch0cman is slightly on an advantage here. Will catch up a little bit of time as he actually fires up a new ROM on his emulator, which is probably a lot easier than finding your cartridge below the pizza boxes. Wait, Ch0cman plays with the keyboard?
Yep.
Holy crap! Why didn't anyone tell me that before the race? That is actually impressive at that point.
And he has a super weird control scheme too. He plays with like WASD and the numpad.
Wait, what does he play?
He moves with WASD and shoots and jump and stuff with the numpad. It's really weird.
Well, I mean, I guess you see that a lot on Flash games on the internet and stuff as well, so I suppose if that works for him, it's fine. And perhaps it's also most similar to, Oh, I just realized that Ch0cman's stream stopped for a moment.
Oh, there came back.
About that. Yeah, it just came back. Well, for a second I wasn't really sure what was going on there. Yeah, there are actually a few people that run this game on keyboard with an emulator. A lot of people think it's sometimes cheating because, you know, lag emulation and whatnot, but, you know, actually I believe emulator is even slightly slower than the actual console, even in the best case of emulation. So, and they still have to put in a lot of work, so I personally do respect a lot of people that play with emulator keyboard, because personally I couldn't imagine myself playing this stuff on the keyboard. Especially not at this level, that's for sure.
Yeah, the thing with emulators is that for X2, the emulator is actually faster because it has a little bit less lag. You'll see it at Morph Mod, but besides that, it runs at slightly lower FPS. Yeah,
I believe for X1 the emulator is slightly slower, but yeah, with lag emulation, it's always difficult. Oh. It's not enough to make a fuss over, that's for sure. Now we're gonna have to see if anyone makes Sponge a little bit angry today. Soppa doing a decent job so far, and enrages the moth. The Sponge.
The Sponge.
Wow, good morning to me. You know, actually, personally, I am really sad with Sponge that he is the first Maverick in the group, because I know you don't get to see it in this category or tournament, but if you actually kill Sponge with his weakness, which is the slicer weapon, I'm not sure who gives it anymore, but the cool thing is that when you put in the final hit on Moth with the slicer, you actually slice him in half.
Sponge.
What did I say?
You said mod again.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, you want to take over? I'm just going. Seriously. Oh my god. Perhaps I have a thing for mods.
Off with Overdrive Ostrich's weapon.
Yeah. Yes, you can slice Sponge in half with the ostrich weapon. Oh. Got it right the third time. Heck yes. Also, we are past this boss now, so I can't do this again. Unless I want to call every other boss a mod too. I suppose that's still an option. Now for the Gator stage, we pick up a capsule, which we didn't do in X1. It is a Buster upgrade. Someone did suggest a Buster upgrade in X1. We don't get it there because it doesn't get us enough time. It would offer a safety that you can, don't need by just being good enough. In X2, it actually gives you a lot of access to mobility weapons like the Charged Burner and the
Strike Chain.
Strike Chain. What Dechi said. Whatever. I've done.
It's okay, dude.
Did Soppa reset? No.
No, he just took a little bit of time swapping cards.
Yeah, indeed. That is a thing, of course, that you get with multi-game categories, that swapping cards, I suppose, could potentially give some issues. It's not just that you need to take in the X1 card or the X2 and put the new one in and set up your controls. It might just, for some awkward old technology reason, not work, and you need to take card back out, blow in it, all that extra work to keep your speedrun go alive. Oh, he psyched the wrong stage? Oh, weird. I didn't see that. I was too busy saying the wrong
Didn't
words.
notice either.
Well, we're some good commentators. We don't even see wrong stage select. Hey, Madu, you want to take our spot? Because this is a disaster. Okay, so if you did indeed make a wrong stage select, you can't really exit the stage unless you've already finished it. So either you would have to finish the stage entirely, or you need to reset the console, as it will remember the last password that was suggested to you. So you can just reset the console, go into the password selection, and then go back to whatever result you were at in terms of Mavericks beaten and whatnot. Meanwhile, Ch0cman having a little bit of issues here with killing Gator.
Yeah, the thing with Gator is that if you manage to hit him as soon as he starts going down, you'll be able to stunlock him, but if you're too late, he'll just go down and waste a lot of time. But there it is.
Yeah, as you can see, he actually got it a bit at the end there, literally just keeping on the stunlock. And now Soppa goes back to the stack stage, but at the correct time. And he actually brings in the little wheel weapon from Gator. And picks up an extra hard tank here to make sure that he's going to be fine throughout this game. Perhaps Soppa not feeling as confident in his X2 game as he is in his X1 game, taking up a little bit of safety.
Yeah, I believe that if you don't get that hard, you can't do the stack climb. We'll see.
Oh, you mean the stack duel at the end?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That could be a potential reason. So, Ch0cman and Soppa about, well, a stage apart. Soppa going into the fight and Ch0cman being at the start of the stage, so there's a fair amount of catching up to do for Ch0cman. That dead on Coanger the next one definitely showing that it's costly to die. To no one's surprise, I suppose.
Yes, the route does matter. The thing with X2 is that we try to route it.
Oh! Soppa slammed into the ground with 1 HP left. Whoa, Stag is a hero. Well, at least if your name is Ch0cman. It totally sucks to be Soppa right now. Well, that was the most impressive Maverick kill I have ever seen in my life. That desperation move at 1 HP, like taking him up all the way through the cave and slamming him back down. Oh my gosh, I am so excited.
Yeah, it's really bad luck for Soppa. So I was saying, the thing with X2 is that The road tries to get rid of the X hunters as fast as possible. That's why we go to a Stector and not where bubble crab.
And we have a tied kill. Oh my!
That's
the
sick.
race is back on. Oh. Oh man, I am never going to forget that. You know.
Oh,
when I
but
later have the grandkids and they tell me like, Grandpa, tell us a story. Did I ever tell you about the race between Ch0cman and Soppa in the stack fight? Oh man.
I believe Soppa is still ahead because the timers are not in sync right now.
Oh man, what a bummer. Yeah, I guess Ch0cman is stream timed out a little bit earlier, so I guess they went off from each other. Oh man, that sucks. That was so cool to see the sync and then their timers are off. Oh. Why did you have to ruin it for me? Oh. Well, in any case, it still got a whole lot closer. They were an entire stage apart, and even with the timers being off, it means they're only like what 5 or 6 seconds apart at this point because they're pretty much completely synced otherwise.
Yeah.
Oh man. Quick kills for the mini boss. Yep.
Yeah.
And yep.
Yep.
Oh. Easy. Easy. So I guess we'll have to take a look at when they hit the boss doors on their timers, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I actually check them getting into this mini boss, Soppa should indeed be 6 seconds ahead, which is actually the, yeah, it's just the difference on their timers. That's the difference between them. Oh, and Ch0cman made a little error there. He ran out a charge burner. Or maybe he calculated to do that. I don't know, because he did swap over to another weapon.
That was a good backup.
Not sure it was an accident or not that he shot this last part. And now we have a big RNG part with Centipede coming up. If he gives a tailspin, yes or no, could make a big difference. There is
No
teleport for Ch0cman. And a tailspin for Soppa.
Yep.
Dude gets all the luck.
And a tailspin for Ch0cman now.
Baby. Actually pretty good RNG for both these runners. And well, that's still pretty synced, so we're still really close. This is something I wonder about, really. It's something really small and insignificant mostly, but in X1, X always runs through the middle to teleport out, and in X2 he doesn't do that anymore. Not really sure whether the developers changed that. Maybe they just thought it was a silly thing to begin with, to have him run to the middle all the time. Also, it means we don't get to do any fade outs, so rip all those 20 frames you could save from doing this. That we will be moving on to the snail stage. There's a lot of big moving blocks that try to kill you over here, which is kind of annoying. Luckily, as humans, you have the natural reflex to dodge the big giant ice blocks trying to kill us. For once, this game is realistic to real life. And judging by the boss door timers, there is only 2 seconds between the two of these guys anymore. Oh, baby. What a race. And there is also a quick kill on Snail, so we'll have to see if they both get that. They are both set up with their buster ready. Ch0cman goes for it. Ch0cman sets it up. Ch0cman. Ch0cman. Ch0cman does it! Oh, and then I look on the right and I see Soppa struggling with a snail swinging around the air. Soppa! Soppa! Does he do it?
Oh, 1 HP.
Oh, that was rather unfortunate. Still, got a pretty good kill in once he had it set up. They may both feel behind because of their deaths, but at the same time, they are actually allowed to watch the stream, and I already saw Soppa say something in the chat. So it's actually not impossible that he's watching the stream while he's running the game to see where he is at compared to Ch0cman. And the same thing for Ch0cman. Runners can determine it for themselves, because some people might think it distracts them too much from doing their own race, or they might get too nervous seeing their ahead or behind, I don't know. Depends how people feel about it, I guess. Clean bike ride for the Ch0c. I haven't seen Ch0cman in the chat, so I don't think he's watching, but I'm not sure about Soppa. I sincerely always hope that people don't watch their own stream or while they're running. At least not when I'm on commentary, because I always think that me being pretty random with the stuff I scream out sometimes might just distract them from what they're doing. Also, I want you to observe this beautiful mashing these runners do while they climb up this missile. It's literally insane.
Beautiful mashing indeed.
It's really insane how good these runners can mash. It's like takes a lot of training, but most of these runners have been doing it for years. So that's the result. Both of them actually opting to just use the ice shots here and not swap with the buster, unless I actually missed it. But I don't think so. Leaves the fight to be a little bit easier.
I believe Soppa is like 3 seconds ahead or something right now.
I believe it's like 5 if I saw it correctly. 3701 versus a 3656 teleport. No, he is not ahead because his timer is ahead of Soppa. So you need to look at the exact time on his timer when he goes out there. So even though they look very synced, Ch0cman, you know, this timer is also a little bit ahead. Like, you can take a look at the skill, it's like 39 and 35 kill on the fish. It makes it a little bit harder because you constantly need to be looking where their timers are at when they do certain things or hit boss doors. Oh, Soppa missing his dash there on this jump. While it doesn't always seem so bad to have a missed input, a missed dash on your jump, on your dash jump can really be painful, because then you try to jump somewhere but you don't even get half as far as you think you will, and then you may just drop to a painful death. Bubbles for Ch0cman, always welcome, and bubbles for Soppa. That's handy. Because of the meme with one of the top tier runners for this game, Tokyo, that he never gets bubbles. I do believe bubbles are the good RNG, but Ch0, you might have to tell people because I don't really know.
Not sure either.
Okay, well, I do believe bubbles are the good RNG, simply because Tokyo 90 would always complain like, I never get bubbles! Well, can't it be synced again? Yes, it can. We just actually passed the information, but you know, it's not like the biggest deal. As we do try to track it on boss doors and stuff anyway, but it is indeed easier if we can get it all together. And now we actually go to the sponge stage. No, just kidding, the mod stage. There's a whole lot of trash around here, and sometimes you see like trash flying around the screen, like flying upwards. This actually means that there's like some weird gravity stuff going on where you kind of don't have the normal physics going, and there's a little bit of gravity stuff that helps you jump up a lot easier, a bit like water physics, except there's no water here.
Yeah, it's like that thing in the ceiling that pulls you up and gives you those low gravity physics.
Yeah, let's actually assume it's pretty much a giant magnet, since I mean X is also a Reploid, so a robot, and it's also made out of a lot of metal. And it would be pretty logical if it pulled him upwards as well. And indeed, we've already mentioned it here, but indeed Ch0cman plays on the keyboard. It's a good thing someone mentioned it, because I actually didn't know that. And Soppa is actually really low on burner here.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure what happened there, but I think he used up a lot of his ammo there. That is definitely going to cost him time. And I hope he knows when exactly to use it, because there is that one very nasty phase that you can get with Malt. Yeah, this one. And this lags a metric ton. Like, oh, it's just terrible. Oh boy. Oh boy. Soppa really facing a lot of lag here. Meanwhile, Ch0cman goes on to our favorite game of the series, which is Goodbye Soppa, which is X3. So the cheap thing about X3 is we're telling you all the tricks that you're allowed to try at home today, right? So I want you to go out into the park, you know, a local nearby park. I want you to catch some wildlife, bugs and insects and whatnot. Then you come back home and you squeeze the bugs into your SNES, and when you turn it on, it automatically runs X3. So if you don't want to buy the cartridge, just try that, it works. If you don't believe me, well, that's pretty good, because, well, probably not gonna work, but you get the idea. There's a whole lot of weird stuff that happens in this game with like quick kills on bosses that make absolutely no sense, among other stuff that, yeah, are just really weird. But we'll get to that as we see it pass by. You also hope having a refight here with the mod seems to be a little bit better. Still taking some extra hits, but next 42-46. And this gives Ch0cman a healthy lead, so we'll have to see if Soppa can catch back up. But I assume that we will have to see Ch0cman make a little error here or there to have him catch back up. Not to mention, he still has to do this waiting time on the menu. That is so sad, because if Soppa is watching us, this has to feel really bad. You know that you're behind because of that extra death, and then you sit there like, oh look, that guy's playing the game, running ahead, and I'm just sitting here waiting on this stupid menu until I'm allowed to go. I mean, it's the rules, Ch0cman do it too, but it pretty feels bad, man.
Yeah.
Oh, rip the Zero music. Can we swap the Soppa sound because, like, more Zero music?
We'll get to it.
And here, the new and improved Mao the Giant. Compared to X2, this is a much better intro boss. I said it last time too, but in X2 you have like a really big fat boss that just walks around, doesn't attack you. This boss doesn't really walk around, but at least attacks you, which seems more of the point of a boss, that it tries to kill you. Otherwise it's, well, kind of weird. Falls down in pieces. Hey, welcome back, Zero. You know, there isn't actually too much drama going on in this tournament, and most of that is because we don't actually complete the games. We're usually do all of the parts where Zero dies or something happens to him. Some people actually really like those parts, like, yes, he died again. Well, not really sure why, because it's like really good music. Ch0cman here into Blizzard Buffalo stage. Noting, wow, is that ice on the ground here actually affects your movement. You're actually facing ice physics. It's not like that in the other games, but in this one, it's pretty nice. You can see people flying across the screen, like here, super fast, especially on these downward slopes.
Yeah, those slopes are something else.
And
Ch0cman getting the gap jumps.
Yeah, very impressive. And we'll probably go and get the air dash over here. Air dash really nice for your movement, allows you to go anywhere you want in the air, up, left, right, not down. And Ch0cman really having a healthy lead now. We'll already be going into the fight with Buffalo itself before Soppa even hits this stage. So that's quite a huge lead. And then here, one of the first of many of those bugs that we squished into the SNES is Buffalo likes to watch paint dry. He's also blind, by the way, he doesn't see X.
Yeah, for some reason, if you're above him, he'll just charge to the left wall and never hit you. So, yeah, that's the whole boss.
Well, I mean, if you're above him, I suppose Buffalo's pretty heavy and has a hard time jumping up there, so I can't catch this little nimble robot. Just, yeah, I don't know. Honestly, watching this fight every time, just I keep wondering. Well, no, but even if he's not anyhow, Soppa actually using the speed from those little slopes there to skyrocket, to rocket himself forward.
And he opted to not get the boots.
Yeah. Yeah. This actually might be an indicator that Soppa knows he's not in need of catching up time. So, or he just opts to get them also. I do believe you can get the air dash in another spot as well in X3. Or am I wrong about that?
Not sure.
I actually thought I talked to Louise, who's probably like the top tier runner for this game, and he told me something when I wanted to do a playthrough here about, oh, you should probably get the air dash over there. You made it sound like I can pick it up elsewhere too, but I'm not really sure about the accuracy on that one. As far as I know, mostly the upgrades only have one spot, and the only double upgrade that I know of is the 2 Buster upgrades you can get in X1. That's 1 on 0 simply because you're not allowed to not have it in the late game.
He may have referred to the enhancement chip. You know that you get the golden armor on X3 if you 100% the game, but you can get those enhancements separately. Only one on certain stages. For example, on Toxic Seahorse here, you can get the boots upgrade to get the double dash. Double air dash, I mean.
Oh, well, then he probably referred to that. And we actually see a little bit of a route difference here as Soppa ran into Tunnel Rhino stage rather than Toxic Seahorses. Getting a ship would be funny. Laughing at your fellow countrymates' problem.
And that was Toxic Seahorse. He has weird iframes.
Yeah, sorry, I think I interrupted you wanting to explain them.
No worries.
Bling.
Did Soppa go to Reno before Toxic Seahorse?
Yes. Soppa has not been in Seahorse. Yeah, he's an entire stage behind, so I would be really surprised if he actually already did Seahorse and is now Tunnel Rhino. And meanwhile, Dr. Doppler on the left there is calling in some help to stop Ch0cman from winning this race. We are uncertain as to how competent his new aides are at stopping this man. Ooh, Soppa. Soppa actually, didn't kill anything with the ice shot. Another thing they have with the weapons in this game of all the weird stuff is that if you kill enemies with the ice shot, they are guaranteed to drop HP. If they have drops at least.
Yeah. And if you kill enemies with the Seahorse acid, they'll always drop ammo.
That's a new thing I just learned today. Thank you. Soppa having a little buster fight here. That's gonna be a lot easier on Ch0cman's end with the acid. And oh, Ch0cman already gets the bit fight. So important for Ch0cman here is no,
1
Soppa
HP.
again, the 1 HP. Oh man, he's just doing it at this point for the heck of it. Soppa, please! What a memer.
You also noticed that Ch0cman swapped the ice for the buster for the last hitter. If he had hit kill bit with the ice, he would have blown up, and that takes a long time.
Yeah, if you finish bit them with their true weakness, they actually get killed. While if you just hit them with a buster shot, or anything else, they just escape and get away. And you see that Tunnel Rhino learned a whole set of new moves during Soppa's death animation.
Yeah, for some reason, he doesn't throw those drills if you don't die, but if you do die, he starts spamming those. It's kinda weird.
Yeah, that's just one of the many odd things here in this game, but oh well. Soppa makes it through this time. I'm actually wondering if he's trying to create a new meme. We've had like some memes with people barely missing their milestones for getting PBs with like 33 flat or the 35 flat or whatnot. And then now Soppa keeps dying to bosses with 1 HP. That's, I don't know. I'm seeing a pattern here. We'll call it intentional to make him look good. Good job, Soppa. You're the man. Ch0cman with some air dashes here, just dashing over the Rhino.
Yeah. Those are pretty tight.
Yeah, it doesn't look like he has much room to make that, but seems pretty comfortable doing that. Because he made some air dashes really barely over Rhino's head. And Soppa now actually making it to a Seahorse stage. Oh, takes a little hit there from the flyer guy. Oof. That is one of the most annoying things, like mid-flight and a climb getting shot out of your jump, and then you kind of need to reset, and it very often ends up in like a semi-chain lock. Ch0cman moving into Tiger stage. With the air dash here, that's actually really easy to go through right there. Go straight up and you're cool. So I'm not really sure. I believe Soppa actually will lose a little bit of time there, if I'm not mistaken, because he doesn't have the air dash and he has to go a bit further around.
One cycle for Ch0cman, that's really good.
Good kill, and I believe Soppa actually used his Buster to kill that enemy on his mini-ball to the right. Well, you usually do see the ice shot going around.
Yeah, he wanted to save his sides for the boss.
Seems like it. Hey, perhaps you can actually explain the quick kill this time without me interrupting you. I'll try to shut up for once.
Don't worry.
For some odd reason, I actually thought Soppa just jumped into that bit there. But he actually calculated what he was doing. That was so weird.
Well, now, with the seahorse, the way the quick kill works is that if you throw the ice while he's high above in the air, his iframes will glitch and you can just smash ice onto him and kill him really fast.
Hey, do you mind explaining it again, but after the race to Soppa? Because he wasn't really hitting him up in the air, so I don't think he got the memo. Perhaps I should have let you explain it the first time while Ch0cman was still there. Ch0cman getting some desperation slashes at the Tiger. If you actually have his true weakness, you can force his RNG to, well, not do these slashes because he's invulnerable doing these. And if you have the spinning blades, and he will just take a hit and go from wall to wall. He does get a bit more iframes, but you don't lose all the time from just sitting there invulnerable, charging up the attack, then firing the attack and whatnot.
Soppa having a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah, this would have been a really nice spot to have the air dash at, but I guess he didn't want to opt into picking it up. Figured it would be shorter to just go up those things. They have a slightly different route that they went into. Soppa went Tunnel Rhino second, and Ch0cman went Seahorse second. Mostly they are doing the same route, but at this point Ch0cman is simply a stage ahead. He just finished Tiger, and Soppa is still in Tiger, and then they will follow the same route most likely. And confirmed by Soppa in the chat, he doesn't know what he's doing. So I suppose that's the thing. I feel his pain. If I were in this tournament, I have the same problem. Thank God I'm only doing commentary. Although Soppa is pretty experienced with the X games. I think he just ran X3 a whole lot less than the other two, X1 being his main game of the tree. And X3 just more like fiddling around with rather than really dedicated speedrunning. But he should have a lot of experience with the games overall to really pull through. And we can see them both now going into their next boss fight, so it's really an entire stage between the two of them. Catfish. So Catfish is a pretty fun boss. He's really big, he's really fat, and his main attack is that he just tries to jump on top of you like a Mavericks. Or whatever other thing would be comfortable with trying to jump on top of you. And when he goes into his desperation attack, like after he goes to 50%, he moves to the center of the screen. Then you just want to use drills on him to make sure he doesn't actually get to fire it.
Never saw the drills overlap over each other like that before.
Oh, sorry, I was actually distracted by chat for a second. Soppa not having the true spirit of the OP guy. Gotta go for it, Soppa! It's not over! He can still, I don't know, his dog can still chew on his cables and turn his PC off. Does Ch0cman have a dog? I hope he has a dog, otherwise.
I know Ch0cman has like 7 cats, but dogs I'm not
That's
sure.
just fine. They can knock over his PC's monitor. That's enough hope. We have 7 chances of this with 7 cats. Also, what the hell, 7 cats? That seems like a lot of work.
He has a female cat which had kittens, and he has kept all the kittens.
Oh, I see. That's some dedication there. How does this man even find time for a speedrun between all that? Like, man. Alright, so now we get the bite fight. Same thing as with that, but we don't want to kill with his true weakness to avoid tons of explosions. Then again, Soppa would hope that Ch0cman makes the fatso error and actually gets a big fat explosion. Yeah, actually now swaps out of the drill to make sure. Actually, the drill is still there, but because he pauses and swaps weapon, the weapon that is still on screen simply disappears. It doesn't really make any sense, but it is a video game, so it doesn't have to. Oh, and Soppa meanwhile actually got the bit fight.
Yeah.
Took me pretty long to notice that one. And same thing here, no using weakness to finish him off, just a little Buster Lemon will be fine. And then the catfish stage there tilts over completely just because you shoot a random thing. I'm not really sure how it's supposed to make sense, but I guess it somehow does. I wish I worked in my house. Like, if I wanted to get like the TV remote, I could just like shoot at my wall and then my house tips over and the remote just falls into my hand. And the TV in my face probably, but you know. Here, crawfish, pretty fun. You hit it with a Triad Thunder, and then after his iframes in and he shoots his claw up there, you just get infinite no iframes and you buster him down. Strategy, you guys. Everything revolves around fast mashing and having times of no iframes. It's pretty cool. Soppa, meanwhile, trying to dodge a big fat catfish. Trying to jump on top of him. I wonder if this is like Capcom's ode to Mario. Wait, which stage are we on, Ch0cman? I forgot the name.
This is Gravity Beetle.
Yeah, right, Beetle, that was it. I could see the boss right in front of me and the name somehow eluded me for a second. And I do believe Ch0cman already about bit and bite, so we won't be worrying about that anymore. We'll be seeing those two guys. Also, a little thing that you won't get to see in this tournament is that actually killing or not killing these guys determines which boss you get later on in one of the Doppler stages, which can be either the God Car Machine O'Reilly,
or Winery, I think.
Winery, yeah, something like that.
It's really weird.
It's a name, the God Car Machine. Let's keep it at that.
Yeah.
And if you don't get the God Car Machine because you killed Bit and Bite with your true weakness, then you get the Press Disposer.
Ugh. That boss.
Believe me, I did a casual playthrough of this game once, and I had only ever seen speedruns where they do the God Car Machine. So I knew what that fight was like, and yeah, I got stuck with the Press Disposer. I had no clue what was going on. Yeah. I can tell you, that was quite an experience. Meanwhile, the bite fight for Soppa. Nothing too difficult going on with that. Cancels out his drill with a pause menu.
Oh.
Or not. or not. Second try. Got it first try on the second attempt. What a guy. I wish I was a speedrunner like this. now happily continuing on this way to the next boss. And Ch0cman finishing a beetle is well quite an experience, to be honest. That boss, when you have his weakness, is kind of weird. He just like takes these little hops as if he's, I don't know, at the gym doing some kind of exercise, jumping around the room. And Ch0cman entering final stage here.
Yep.
The Hornet.
Beetle Hornet?
Wait, what did I say? Didn't I say Hornet?
You said Beetle Hornet.
Okay. Apparently I'm saying a lot of weird things today. I think I need more sleep. Say I'm on holidays this week, so I should get enough sleep. Apparently half of the time I don't know what I'm saying, but I suppose that's normal for my commentary. Whatever, I guess. Oh! Soppa! Crushed by the butt stomp, man. The butt dash, I believe Justin called it when I checked his commentary. I mean, of all the ways to potentially die, that's at least a pretty epic one. I mean, so tell me, Soppa, how did you die today? Well, I died by a crawfish butt dashing into me. I mean, there could be more boring things to talk to people about. Yeah, Soppa seems a little bit off his game right now. When I saw him like mash there on the crawfish, it felt a little bit slow compared to how he would usually play. He died inside mentally. See, he's listening to commentary. It's okay, but that happens to a lot of people when they listen to me. Was that a wrong stage select from Soppa? I think that was.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Oops. Oops. Yeah. Come on, Soppa, you don't have to make it obvious. Really? Actually, wait, is he going to play the entire scene of Gravity Beetle there?
So it seems.
Actually, the very rarely seen actual footage of the game showing what boss we're fighting. Usually skipped in speedruns due to being kind of slow.
And that's GG for Ch0cman.
Yeah, Ch0cman finishing the game with an official SRL race ball time of 1 hour, 7 minutes and 36 seconds. So it's pretty fast reflex the man had over there. This. Wait, that sounded really weird how that weapon get music went, but because we swapped over to Soppa.
Yeah.
Cheer on this man for the power of everlasting peace.
Everlasting peace.
And if that's not enough, add in the Finnish flag. Might help more. See, actually, this is one of the reasons you should probably bring in the air dash because, you know. Soppa, what the heck?
Looks
man.
like.
Yeah, I just checked into the SRL chat, and Soppa has admitted defeat and has forfeited from the race. Yeah. That is unfortunate. I would have liked to seen him finish the game. Yeah. Oh well. I mean, if he doesn't want to finish, we can't make him, obviously. There are still no teleportation devices to teleport into his house and force him to actually finish the game. Oh well. I mean, he'd probably kick me out rather than me actually managing to make him finish the game anyway, because, you know, I'm pretty bad, weak. I'm only level 1 and the magic card. So. I don't think flopping around on this floor like a magic card would make it for the game. Anyway, let's see if they want to talk to us a little bit about this race. Perhaps I should maybe ask them where they are both present.
I think Soppa's not in this room anymore.
I will just see if I can get them, yes or no. Still GG's to both runners. It was a good run. But unfortunately, Soppa having a bit of struggles, but you know, it can happen. It can happen. Okay, Soppa won't be here for an interview. I know Soppa, but he's probably a bit frustrated with that performance. He is pretty hard on himself sometimes, I believe, so he really strives to be as good as he can. I guess today was simply not his day. He's still a good runner though. He's very dedicated. That's for sure. This guy can really go hours on end, grinding, practicing. It's amazing to see. Which actually reminds me, I didn't say that yet, but you should probably like follow these runners. You know, they're dedicated people doing all this stuff. I'm not really sure what's... Wait. Not Ch0cman anywhere. Ch0cman does not appear to be... Oh! Hi Ch0cman!
Hi.
Alright, I was just looking at if I could find you for an interview, yes or no, and... Okay, he's not responding, but you're here. Great, hi. Congratulations on the win.
Thanks.
So a little bit of a rough start you had there. I believe you died on Kuwanger start of X1?
¿Moriste en Kuwanger en X1?
Sí. Incluso si no hubiese tenido esa muerte, lo más probable es que hubiese hecho pipí.
If he hadn't had that death, he would have PV'd.
Oh, I see. Oh, wait, he doesn't speak English?
No.
Okay, okay, just realized that. Okay, okay, sorry, I was a little bit confused. Yeah, although it's nice, really close to a PB. Okay, I'm a little bit confused by the translation thing.
Don't worry.
How confident was he going up against Soppa? Because he was having a better PB, but did he really think it would go this smooth, or...?
¿Qué tan seguro te sentías al ir contra Soppa?
No muy seguro, porque sabía que X1 me lo iba a ganar, pero sabía que le podía tomar mucha ventaja en X2 y en X3.
He says he wasn't too confident going up against Soppa because he knew that Soppa was better X1, but he also knew he would take the lead on X2 and X3.
Okay, well that's pretty fair. That actually turned out pretty well. Is there anything special that he thought about his own runs that he wants to mention, like this was really good or really bad?
¿Algo que destacar de tu run? ¿Algo que haya sido muy bueno o muy malo?
Flame Stack, weón. Fue muy bueno. Nunca había tenido un Flame Stack tan bueno.
He says he got a really good stack fight.
Ah, yes. Did he watch the stream on the side?
¿Viste el stream Speed Gaming?
No, pero estaba en el chat.
Yeah, he didn't watch it, but he was in the chat.
You should suggest that he actually tanks stack for his assistants in X2.
Sorry, what?
You should probably tell him that it's worth for him to tank stack for his assistants in catching up during X2.
Oh, yeah. Drago dice que le den las gracias a Stack porque Soppa lo agarró a Stack y lo mató con ese ataque.
¿Lo mató?
Sí,
o sea,
cuando
vi que muchos pusieron que se murió, pero le hice el movimiento sísmico.
Ese mismo. A seismic toss indeed.
Yeah, I don't specifically have any more questions. If Ch0cman has anything left to say, that's fine for me if he wants to do that.
¿Algo más que decir, Ch0cman?
No, nada. El Legacy Collection vale caca.
Yes, says he. Legacy Collection sucks. Nothing more.
Okay, well, that is fair. Well, then I think I'm gonna take a quick look. We do have the MMX schedule, of course, and the schedule for speed gaming to look at. And I'm gonna see, I did believe there was another game for our tournament coming up today, or did it already passed, because it's sometimes a little bit slow. There should be another game going on the main speed gaming channel. Actually, I think it's already on right now. So if you go to the main speed gaming channel, I suppose that will be on, and it is a match between Godo DC and Mr. Otter 8. Yeah, that is correct. And that is being hosted by Darren Hill and Just Incredible. Some really good commentators right there. With that, I would like to thank both Soppa and Ch0cman for being our runners today. And Techi for assisting on commentary, or me assisting on commentary, whatever, something. I don't know who the real commentator was and who the assistant. And of course the entire speed gaming crew for always getting things up and running. They're completely in the background, but they do a ton of work, so follow all of their channels. And if you wanted their specific channels with special languages, they have some channels for German, French, and Spanish translations. So that's really good. Also, if you're not into Mega Man X games, there you could also go to Speed Gaming 5 for Super Metroid, Speed Gaming 2 for Chrono Trigger, Speed Gaming 4 for Link's Awakening, and I believe that's it. Yeah. However, since you're here, I suggest you go to the main Speed Gaming channel, since that is more. And that will be it for me. Thank everyone for watching, and I'll see you all on the main channel. Hopefully, go there now. Good night.
Thanks for watching, guys. Goodbye.